Good morning, brewers. It's brew day. So this is how I get ready for my brew day. Before any water touches the inside of my grain father, I get all the hardware, all the stainless hardware out that I'm going to need for the day, so that way I don't forget this thing. I see too many times people forget to put them in. They fill in their mash and realise that they've forgotten to put it in. It can stress you your whole brew day without that in. What was the other thing? Oh, so when I'm rinsing it, I do put this on so I can put the hose through the system and the water will come out the bottom, and then that way, in case there's anything inside the pump or the pipe work, it'll get flushed out. That's only a rinse and then I fill it from the top, but I've never found anything, but it gives me that tiny bit of peace of mind. So we're brewing a rice lager today. Here's a snippet of me preparing the rice, and alright, I'll go fill up the water for mashing in. Howdy brewers, today we're trying to do another rice beer, but I actually have rice hulls this time. So we've got 1 kilo of white rice, and we're bringing 3 litres of water up to the boil. When it starts to boil, I'll add the rice and I'll reduce the heat and simmer it for about 20 minutes, and apparently that's enough to gelatinize the rice, and then we're going to throw it in our beer with rice hulls. Okay, so brought to the boil, adding the rice. That'll have to come back to the boil. Just want to make sure nothing sticks to the bottom. You can rinse it if you want to, the rice, but I don't think it'll make much difference. It's full of proteins. You're going to have a cloudy mash, but it does come clear in the fermenter. Put the heat back on and bring it back to the boil, and then I'll drop it back down when it's boiling again for 20 minutes. So there you have all that water has been absorbed by the rice and fogged up the camera. So yeah, this will get thrown in the beer, but I have rice hulls on my side this time, so I'm looking forward to them doing their thing and allowing the sparge to not be stuck and have a bit better flow as the mash recirculates. Alright, so I've got my mash water filling, and this will be my entire brew day water actually, because I'll fill it to the top and then I'll transfer it to my sparge water heater via this, and that way, because I add my brewing salts to the whole brew water to make all the water the same. And so while that's filling, I'll go and get my brewing salts. So I bring the mash water up to temperature while I dissolve my salts. Today's a teaspoon and a half of calcium chloride and half a teaspoon of gypsum. If you're wondering why I put the tap on, it heats the water faster, but also while it's heating, it's if there's any excess chlorine that can lead to some of those off flavours like betadine in your finished beer. This is going to help. This is going to help get rid of them because of the bubbles. The chlorine exists in a gas, even though you can't see any gas. It's escaping through the bubbles. We're nearly at mash temp. There's two schools of thought here. You could mash in now, and then it would be a temperature by the time you are finished mashing in. Or there's one hard and fast, like safe one, where you should just wait until you're at temperature and then mash in. But because I'm making a lager, a rice lager today, I do want it to be dry and crisp. So if mashing in at this temp and while it's still coming up to temperature gives me a little bit more fermentable sugars, I'm not going to complain. Okay, so I've mashed in the 2.5 kilos of Pilsner malt. Now I'm going to throw in the rice hulls first, and then I'll add the rice. So how much to add, just see how the flow rate is all I can say. There's the rice. You can see it's gluggy, starchy, gummy. Actually, what I am going to do is just weigh it. I'll see if... Okay, so 4.5 kilos. So it's absorbed a lot of water, but I don't know, it was only 1 kilo of rice. If you take away the weight of the pot, which is probably maybe half a kilo, I'm adding potentially 4 kilos of rice. I really don't know. So anyway, we'll just have to keep an eye on the gravity and see what we get. So I won't film me adding this, but I'll be adding it one portion at a time, and mixing it in to make sure it mixes well, and checking the flow rate the whole time. Alright, I'll be back when I've mashed in and we'll measure the mash pH. Okay, mash pH. 5.4. It's just where I don't like it any higher than 5.4, so I'll leave it where it is. Now with the rice beer, you will struggle without salts to get it that low, depending on your brew water. So I was lucky. So now we're going to mash in at 64 degrees for 45 minutes. Alright, just doing the starch conversion test. Once they're all converted at the 64 degrees, then I'll ramp up the temperature to 71 for about 20 minutes to get a bit more malt into it, but I want to make sure all starches are converted. Nope. Black means that there's still starches in solution. Oh, it did go away, but it went black instantly, so I'm going to just leave it another few minutes. Alright, well, we'll just see how that goes, see how it clears up. I'll give it about 20 minutes and do another starch conversion test. Okay, it's been about another 20 minutes. Do another iodine test. Now remember, if it goes black, now this is a very light coloured wort, so it'll go dark. I expect it to go dark, but not black. There. That is not black. Brown or tan is what I was going for. and I've achieved that. So now I can actually do mash up. So rice is just difficult to work with. I've put in a lot of okay, we've got 5 minutes left in the boil. We've sanitized our counterflow chiller and thrown in 30 grams of Nelson Sauvin hops. Give it a bit of a stir because I'm using the hop spider. I want to make sure that as much of the flavour and aroma comes out in the last 5 minutes. Alright, and then we'll be back for a bit of a whirlpool. So you can see the colour of the wort, it's really murky. It's because of the high proteins in the rice. But I think it's going to give me some trouble when I'm trying to transfer to the fermenter. But what I am going to do again today is I'm going to put the counterflow chiller back in here to try and get as much of those proteins, just keep them in the grain father as opposed to letting them go into the final wort. So I've got my because it's hot where I live this time of year, I've got my just all my ice and a little bit of water, and in my counterflow chiller I'll have ice water going through, so that should bring it down to pitching temp straight away. Okay, so the wort looks a little clearer. It actually looks more orange than it really is in reality. So that's it. That's coming out of the grain father, and it's pretty clear. So I think it worked. And fermenter's nearly full, which means the grain father's nearly empty, and I'm going to pitch the yeast from the James Squire Pilsner just straight on top. Frustrating, but in the end I've got some wort, so I should get beer out of it. Have a good day. Cheers.